Today, I want to introduce two people that have meant so much to us at Church of the Ascension over the years, and whose lives, through their vocations and ministry, their faithfulness to God and their lifelong service to others, have formed, helped, and inspired people all over the world. Ken and Ethel Bailey. The Reverend Dr. Kenneth Bailey, an ordained Presbyterian minister, studied and taught in the Middle East, in Egypt, Cyprus, Lebanon, and Israel for 40 years, between 1955 and 1995. I first met him at the Ecumenical Institute for Theological Research in Jerusalem, where I was attending a course while a seminary student in Oxford in 1990. It was later that same year that Dr. Bailey was appointed the canon theologian for the Anglican Diocese of Cyprus and the Gulf. Not long after his return to Pittsburgh, Bishop Alden Hathaway appointed him as canon theologian for our diocese. Ken Bailey was a scholar of biblical languages, traditions, and culture, and a masterful teacher. He was much in demand in churches and seminaries locally, nationally, and internationally. Here he is in June of 2012, teaching at Trinity School for Ministry.
We all know that Jesus told parables. We don't always notice that Paul did too. And not only does Paul have brilliant parables, but he's also got incredibly insightful metaphors that he uses in various places. And many times those metaphors in our translations have been turned into abstractions, and thereby the power of the metaphor is lost. Just for example, one that we all know, in the 13th chapter of 1 Corinthians, we have love never fails. Well, the original Greek text says, love never falls. And love never falls is a concrete image, but love never fails is an abstraction. And all of our Middle Eastern versions have not made that mistake. The Arabic is mahabba la tasqut abadan, love never falls. We'll see that when we get to chapter 13.
In our mission statements at Ascension, we declare that we are a worshiping community, equipping God's people, sharing Christ's healing with a broken world. Dr. Bailey certainly played an important part with us in the equipping of God's people, helping us to be more biblically literate and deepening our love for and understanding of the Scriptures. He was a regular guest preacher at Ascension, preaching here more than 30 times and leading one of our annual parish retreats. He was a prolific author and, according to Christianity Today, wrote more than 150 articles in Arabic and English. From one of his many books, I want to share a favorite quotation from Jesus Through Middle Eastern Eyes. With wit and wisdom, Ken observes, all the intelligent people were not born in the 20th century. While Ken Bailey was preparing for ordination in seminary at Pittsburgh Theological College, his wife Ethel was working here at what was then known as the Pittsburgh Municipal Hospital, just a mile from Church of the Ascension. Ethel was a research assistant to Dr. Jonas Salk during the time that he discovered the polio vaccine. She went on to teach microbiology in Arabic, raised a family, and typed a number of Ken's manuscripts. Ethel Bailey is such a wonderful example of what it means to live out the Christian life through her vocation. This was the context of her ministry.
I was up on the third floor. Was the Polio Ward where they had all the iron lungs. All you had to do was go and look in there, and you didn't need much more incentive.
That's a very sobering experience, you know, just to have walked through all those iron lungs. And the rocking beds, I think, were almost as impressive, because to think that you just don't stop doing this all day, you know. It was very sobering.
Most of the vital ministry and mission of Ascension takes place Mondays through Saturdays as parishioners serve God in their workplaces. Today we have more than 50 people serving in healthcare professions, including lab technicians and research assistants, some of whom are once again working on vital vaccine research in the midst of the COVID-19 global pandemic. The work that Dr. Salk, Ethel Bailey, and all the team culminated in headlines and celebrations around the world.
Kids ran out into the streets, school was called, factory whistles went off, church bells tolled, people were crying. It was in a way as if a war had ended, and the way a war had ended.
after that, the mail bags poured in. I mean, we had mail bags like you wouldn't believe. Letters and money.
Today, it is my privilege to announce that our new hall will be named the Ken and Ethel Bailey Hall. Our extended hall will continue to be a multi-purpose space, including a venue for the kind of teaching and equipping that marked Ken Bailey's ministry, as well as for weekly hospitality and so much more. Thanks be to God for the lives and ministries of Ken and Ethel Bailey, dear friends of Church of the Ascension and faithful ambassadors in the kingdom of God.